Now, just to let you know that after our last speaker, there's going to be an opportunity for questions and answers from the panel until 4 p.m. And we'll keep it tight because we know that there's a closing ceremony as well. Now, Ryla, Rotary Youth Leadership Award, that Wynne spoke of, who's been involved in it in the room? What a great idea that she presented to us. Another way with younger people. Now let me introduce our last speaker, Angelo Caruso. He's going to do something different again. He's almost immediate. He'll be the immediate next week past president of his club in Troy, Michigan. He teaches people how to be better speakers. He's a valued communication consultant. This is what he does, and he gives off his skills to Rotary. He's delivered over 2,000 presentations all around the world. He's done DVDs, videos, he's written books. He's the guru. So please welcome me in joining Angelo Caruso from Royal Oak, Michigan, USA.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. Welcome, everybody. Wow. How about a round of applause for all the speakers today? Fabulous. Well, I think it's important for all speakers to have an original style, don't you think? And the problem is that a lot of us Rotarians don't speak enough to actually cultivate an original personal style. And so we tend to copy other things that we see speakers do. And there's nothing wrong with that to get yourself off the ground, but if you really want to make a mark as a professional speaker or even as an amateur speaker who does good work, I encourage you to find some role models that you can follow. Now, the suggestion from Jennifer to watch TED. For example, write this name down, Sir Ken Richardson, who has the most watched TED video of all time. It's on creativity in schools. Sir Ken Richardson. And interestingly enough, Sir Ken Richardson is a polio survivor. Why Rotary has not tapped him yet, I'm not sure, but we need to get on that. So you want to develop role models. They could be the terrific speakers that you heard here today or elsewhere in the conference, but track them and try to learn from them, because every time you learn something about cultivating your own personal style, you become a much more effective speaker. So these are the types of things we want you to do. In my case, I'd like to let you decide what my personal style is, but you'll notice right away maybe that I'm the only speaker today who is not using PowerPoint. You're welcome. Yeah. It's nothing against PowerPoint, it's just that I don't use it. And because I seem like I'm always the only one who doesn't use it, it has become my personal style. And I think I have to do other things a little bit differently to keep your attention, because I don't have any PowerPoint technique or tricks. So the tricks can be useful, but if you're not going to use those tricks, you better find some other tricks that you can use to keep people's attention. I've used a few of my tricks already with you today. I'll share one of them with you right now. I ask my audience without compunction, without delay, I say, you might want to write this down. And I picked up this trick over a dozen years ago when I was having trouble connecting with my audience, and I went to one of my mentors and I said, I just don't think that they're listening to me. What can I do to engage them? And he says, well, that's easy. Are you asking the audience to write anything down? And I said, no. I said, if they think I say something important, they'll probably just start writing. And he said, well, you have to ask them. And I thought it was the silliest idea I ever heard. The next day, I had a presentation, and I said to the audience, okay, everyone, I want you to write this down. And it was like that commercial on television, E.F. Hutton, you know, where everybody goes like this, you know. And everybody started looking for a pen, and they want to write. They don't even know what I was going to ask them to write. They just want to follow the instruction. And when they write stuff down, it sends me a signal that what I'm saying is important or interesting or relevant. So we get this kind of cross-signaling from the audience. The audience will tell you what's important to your presentation, and you sometimes need to emphasize what's important in your presentation. So these are some tricks that I use. I want you to know that because I do this for a living, I offer a newsletter with tips like this. It's free, and if you'd like to get it, you should write this down. It's my website, michaelangelocaruso.com, caruso.com, and then do this, /Lisbon. /Lisbon. And when you go there, you'll see a nice surprise for you that I'm not going to tell you about right now. But get the free newsletter minimum, and you'll be getting these tips on how to be a better speaker. I think you'll really enjoy them. I now want to give you 5 cool ideas for sharpening your call to action. Jennifer indicated earlier that all good presentations have a call to action. Please, please, never stand in front of a group and say, I just wanted to give you some information. No. I didn't fly all the way to Portugal just to give you information. I want you to do something with the information. And that means a behavioral shift. Of course I want you to think about it, but I want you to do something. And we heard some calls to action from our speakers today. I think Laura said, if you're from Peru, I want to talk to you. It sounds like a rap song. If you're from Peru, I want to talk to you. And so that's pretty direct, that's pretty specific in her call to action. My call to action earlier, go get my free newsletter, you see? Jennifer's call to action earlier, come to Australia next year and be with us again. So always, always, always ask the audience to do something and this is a key, be very, very specific about what you want them to do. I'll give you an example. If I wanted you to fill out a form, a piece of paper, I could ask you in one of 2 ways. I could say, okay everyone, I've distributed the form, and now I'd like you to send that form back to me. Just mail it back to me whenever you get a chance. Is that a good call to action? No. What's wrong with it? It's vague. Whenever you want to. I mean, if you don't do it within a day of getting home, you're never going to do it. And what will that do to the response rate? Very low. Here's a second way I can issue that call to action that is very specific. Okay, everyone, you've been distributed the document. I would like you to hand it to me, completed, as you leave the room. I'll be standing by the door to get it from you. What's that do to my response rate? You're not getting out of here until I have that document. You see the difference? That's a specific, well thought out call to action. And when you have that, what will happen is people will do what you tell them to do, and then the feedback or the results or the success will be that much better, and then you'll be asked to speak more and more and more, and eventually, if you're pretty good at this, people will pay you money to speak. Now, I did not get paid to fly to Portugal, even though I'm a professional speaker. Like all of the volunteers here today, we fly, I think all of us, maybe they don't want to say, all of us come here under our own, we pay for our own ticket. I will tell you this, I speak for Rotary a lot, as Jennifer mentioned. It's my give back to Rotary because I'm a professional speaker and because Rotary is starving for good presentations. I speak at Rotary a lot for free. In fact, I spoke at 21 Rotary events just this spring, and all I charged was expenses. You see, I don't charge Rotary for the talks, and Rotary found out. And now I get a lot of calls for pets, multi-district pets, district conferences, zone institutes, and I say yes, 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 yes. And I've never been to Italy. That's a call to action. Okay, so some techniques now. For the last 6 minutes of your presentation, write these down. Ideas for the last 6 minutes of your presentation. Number 1, you must tell a signature story. You must tell a signature story, and the signature story has to appeal to the right side of the brain. Not the left side of the brain. The left side of the brain is rational. It's linear, and it's based in some sort of more of a rational thinking. The right side of the brain is the side of the brain that makes purchase decisions. How many people in the room sell anything? If you're in the room and you're Rotarian, you should start selling Rotary. And it's the right side of the brain that you want to appeal to when you give presentations. That's why the videos and the photographs that you show are so important, because they appeal, photographs appeal to the right side of the brain. Okay, next, You want to answer objections in the final moments of your presentation. If people in the room have questions about what you've asked them to do and you don't give them a chance to answer, they will not do it. You must clear the objections. Does anyone have any questions? How can I help you understand this? What are your concerns? I teach leadership and sales training for a living, and I teach salespeople that the best presentations, the best sales presentations, are when the salesperson is not speaking. Why? Because then they are telling me why they're in pain, what they need. You see, if I'm speaking, I'm not learning anything, right? So you must be quiet during your own presentation to answer questions. And we have a Q&A session coming up with you in just a minute. You also want to give your contact information and a compelling reason to get in touch with you. So I gave you my contact information earlier, michaelangelocaruso.com/Lisbon. And the compelling reason, there's a surprise on that page for you. I'm not even telling you what it is, but you'll be very glad you went there. So, you also want to use a technique called bookending, which Ron used very well. Bookending is the art of using the dialogue or the words you used at the beginning of the presentation at the end of the presentation. It's called bookending. So Ron began his presentation by saying, "Yes, we can," and "we did." And I was so happy at the end of your presentation when you said, "And so, yes, we can, and we did." And that is a hallmark of a fantastic speaker. Well done, sir. Essentially, what we're asking you to do is get better at speaking on your feet. And to get better at speaking on your feet, you need to speak more often. Speak at every opportunity. When we open up the microphones, you should try to be the first one to the microphone so you get a chance to speak. You should speak at Rotary events as much as you can. Visit other clubs. Volunteer to speak at conferences. It's a good thing for you to do. Another opportunity to speak is through video. So right now, my friend Gary is doing video of me. Are you doing video? Raise your hand. Don't move your camera, but raise your hand if you're doing video. Anyone else doing video? No? If you'd like to do video, we have an empty chair right here in the front. You can come up right now. Come on. And you sit right in this chair, and we'll do one more piece of video before the end of the program. So how many people are in the room today, Jennifer? Do we know?
About 380.
About 380 people in the room today. Why do I do video? If I post it on YouTube and drive traffic to it, how many people will see the video? 3,800? 30,800? You see? So video is a new mechanism, and you have to stage it correctly in order for it to work. So these are the types of things that we do as a professional speaker. I hope my presentation has been interesting for you and also a bit fun. We have a Q&A session coming up, and I'd like to once again solicit a round of applause for Jennifer, who's doing such a fantastic job.
And thank you very much, Michael. Now it's your turn. I'm just going to quickly go through the rules. We've got